In our last session we understood about the indexes, right? So in today's session we will see the next topic, views. Or before views we will understand about SQL joins, then we will see about the views. So what is SQL join, or what is the use of joins? SQL joins are used to join two or more tables based on common field. Okay, so SQL joins are used to join two or more tables based on the common fields. Okay, so there are two types of joins in ABAP: inner join and then outer join. So again, in outer join there are two types: left outer join, right outer join. So right outer join was not there earlier, they introduced it recently, so from NetWeaver 7.5 onwards. Earlier it was not there. So these are the types of joins we have. So let's understand. So what is inner join? Okay, so inner join always returns the matching records from both the table. Okay, inner join always returns the matching record from both tables. Okay, you can join two tables using inner join. Okay, so when you join two tables, it always returns the matching row or matching record from both tables. Okay, so let's consider a table. So if you consider this is a table, and then let's say you have material 100, 200 and 300, and this one is FERT, ROH, and then maybe we'll take one more. Alright, let's consider this. And then you have one more table which is MAKT. Let's say this is Mara and then this is MAKT. So here you have maybe MAKTX. Okay, so let's say 100, you have the description ABC, and again let's say 100, and here you have description in maybe different language, or let's say just say test1 and test2, something like this. Okay, and then let's say here you have 200, and let's call this as test3, and maybe let's say 400, test4. Okay, so and then in these two tables, this is the common column, or else let's say this is the key field of the table, or common column between the table. Okay, so when you perform inner join between these two tables, what happens? What it will return? It will only return the matching rows. So based on what you will perform inner join? Based on the common fields between the table, right? Common field is MATNR is the common field. So when you perform inner join, so what will be the output? What will be the result, right? So that's what Okay, so let's see what will be the output. What are the common rows between these two tables? 100 is common, right? We have 100, then FERT, then
200.
test 1. And next again 100, because there are two rows in this table, and FERT and test 2. So next we have 200 common. So 200 and ROH and test 3. What about 300? Do you think 300 will be fetched when you make inner join between these two tables?
No.
What about 400?
No.
No, right? So only the common rows between the table will be fetched when you perform inner join. Are we clear what is inner join?
Yes.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next is left outer join, and then maybe one more for right outer join. So now what is outer join? So outer join always returns all the entries from one table irrespective other table entry. Okay, so outer join always returns entries from one table irrespective of other table entry. Okay, inner join always returns all the entries from one table irrespective of other table entry. Okay, so what is left outer join then? Okay, so left outer join always returns all the records from left table and matching record from right table. This is what left outer join. Understood? Always returns all the records from the left table and matching records from the right table. Clear, guys? That means all the entries from the left table and matching rows from the right table. So that means, so all both 100 will come because it is there, and even 200 is also common between the table. And now so 300, all the records from the left table, but 300 is not there in the right table. So here HAWA, and here this will be blank. Understood? Guys, clear to you? This is how left outer join will work. All the records from the left table and matching values from the right table. Are we clear on this?
So,
So next is
Yes.
right outer join. All the entries from the right table and matching rows from the left table and matching rows from left table. That means this rows will be there anyways, it is common. And but here 300 will not come. 400, there is no value for 400 in this table. Test 4. So this is what the joins we have. Anybody, any doubts till now? Any doubts so far? Are we clear? Understood the joins? Very important. Understood or not? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay, so now let's understand about views. Okay, so what are views now? Okay, so views are used to the join the data segregated, or join the data, join the tables, uh, join the table data stored in multiple tables. Okay, so views are used to join the table data stored in multiple tables. You remember, to avoid storing duplicate records in database layer, we divided the table into multiple tables and we used foreign key relationship, right? Right guys, we used foreign key relationship. Do you remember? Right, to avoid storing same row again and again, because of these two columns, we divided the table into two tables, right? So that only this will be stored once and description can be stored multiple times, right? That can save the memory of the database table. So because of foreign key relationship, or to avoid the data storing multiple times, we have divided it into two tables. Now if we want the data for business, or if anybody wants to see the data, so they want to see in this format, okay, not in this format, right? Somehow we have to, this is what we call it as denormalized format, this is normalized format. So we have to bring the data in denormalized format, so whatever is been stored in the normalized format. For that reason we use views. Understood? Are we clear?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say views are also called as virtual tables. They are not tables, actually we call them as virtual tables. Why we call them as virtual tables? Because views will not allocate any memory in database. If there is no memory, that means the data is not stored physically, right guys? If there is no memory, and data will not also be stored physically in the database, views will not store any data physically in database. Okay, that's why they called as virtual databases. They act like database, but they are not database because they are not going to store any data. Are we clear? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, there are different types of views we have. Like we have database view, we have projection view, we have maintenance view, then we have help view. Okay, there are different types of views. So now let me also picturize it for you. So let's say this is application layer, 3-tier architecture now. And then we also have database layer. What we have in database layer is database tables. Okay, so these two are connected. So now where the tables will be stored, the tables are in the database. This is where the data will be stored, right, permanently. In the database we will have these tables. In the database, so these tables will store the data. Alright, let's consider this is table Mara. Like this we have multiple tables. Let's say we have Mara, then maybe Mardi storage location table, and then MARC plan table, or we can also take MAKT, the description table. So we have different tables, right guys, where the data will be stored permanently. Yes or no, please? Do you agree? This is where our data will be stored permanently, right? Do you agree? In the format of rows and columns. How tables will store the data? How table will store the data? In rows and column format, right? This is where your data will be stored in the database table permanently. Hello, yes or no, please? Do you remember tables that we created?
Yes.
Right? This is where our data will be stored permanently. Sorry. So this is where the data will be stored for permanent. Okay, so now what are views? Views are actually created in application layer here. Okay, so here we will create the application layer like database view, database, then projection and maintenance and help view. This is where the views are created. Okay, these views are created in application layer. Okay, so what these views will do, these views will combine the data of different tables, okay, and they will bring it to the application layer. This is what tables, this is what views are going to do. They are going to combine the data that is stored in different tables into one, in the format of one table. They will combine and bring the data in the format of one table. Understood? Understood what are views? They won't store the data, but they will bring the data which is already stored in the database. Are we clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Store the data and bring it to application layer. Okay, they will never and ever store the data in the database. Only tables will store, not the views. There will be no memory allocated for the views in the database. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So there are different types of views. Okay, why I thought you joins just before the views? Because these views use different types of view joins. Okay, the first one use inner join. Okay, so this uses the inner join, and there will be no join for projection. That means it doesn't use it only created on single table, so no join here. And these two views will use left outer join. Okay, right outer join was not there earlier. It is introduced very recently from the version of NetWeaver 7.5, but it was not there earlier. Okay, so no join concept, no right outer join concept. It is introduced very recently. So now what is database view? Now you know that database view will use inner join to join the table data, right? So this will be not join because projection view can only be created on single tables, but this will be using left outer join that can be created on multiple tables. Okay, so what is database view? Why we call it as database view? Okay, so when we activate the database view, it will generate the native SQL statement to create corresponding DB view in the database. Okay, that means only the database we will create and another view, corresponding view with the existing join in the database. Okay, only this creates another view. That's why we call it as database view. Only this view will be created, but still it will not store any data. Again, it is created on top of other tables. Okay, but only the joins will be sent to the database layer. Okay, so it's not going to store, but only the joins are sent to the database layer. Okay, that act like pre-join. Okay, built-in join or pre-join, something like that. That is what database view. Okay, so if understood, guys, that's why they call it as database view. Are we clear on this? Hello?
Sir, what is native SQL?
Okay, so native SQL, so let me explain it to you quickly. Like, we have our mother tongue, right? Different languages that we speak, right?
Yes.
But common for us is like English. Maybe we all understand English, right? So native SQL is like native to the database statement. Each database statement has its own language, its own programming language. That is what we call native. Understood? So what we write in ABAP is OpenSQL. Your ABAP layer will convert the OpenSQL statement that you have written into the native SQL. Depends on the database that is connected to. Clear?
Okay.
Understood, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's come back, and now here, if the database we've created on top of single table, then you can edit and display the data. Okay, if you create the database view on top of single table, that means if you use one table, in that case you can also edit the data as well as you can also display the data. Okay, if you create db view on multiple tables, you can only edit, sorry, you can only display. Okay, you cannot edit. Okay, and database views are can also be used in select statements. Okay, you can use the database view in the select statements. Okay, like table. Okay, what is select statement we'll see in upcoming chapters. You don't have to worry today, we will understand when we start programming. Okay, let's see how to create the database view in the system. So you have to log into the server. Okay, let me log into the server. You have to go to transaction code S11, and here you have to select the radio button view, and you can provide the view name, let's say zdb view. Maybe I'll just create material batch 20, database view material batch 20. Okay, so then you can click on the create button, and now you can see here there are 4 options, that means 4 types of views. You can select the first one to create the database view and execute, and after that in the short description you can provide the description, let's say material master view, and then here you can enter the table names, like your table name Mara, and I want to join MAKT. Okay, so I'll enter these 2 table name. After that you can select these 2 tables here and click on the relationship, so the join will be automatically it will show the what fields can be joined between these 2 tables will be shown in the pop-up. You can double click on this if you want to see. You see MAKT of MANDT is equal to Mara MANDT or MAKT of MATNR. Okay, this is the join. I say copy, so that join will be copied automatically here. Understood till now? First step to create the view.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me save it in the package and also in the transport request. Okay, so let's save it in the transport request, and after that
So,
yeah,
so why only 2 fields are matched here?
because those 2 are the common fields between the Mara and MAKT table.
Okay, okay. Not with the key fields, right?
Correct.
Only
The
matching
joins
records.
can be
Okay.
established based on the common field between the table, right?
Okay, got
Those are
it.
the common fields between the tables. And then I'll go to views, and here you can select which columns you need from table Mara, which columns you need from table MAKT. Let's say I want MATNR and MTRT, this one, and MEINS, and maybe also one more BRGEW. Say copy. These are the columns I need from Mara table, and from MAKT I need only the language key and also the description. Okay, let's copy this too. Once it is done, you can go to selection condition. I'll come to it. You can go to maintenance status. You can see read only. You cannot change it because you can only read the database view with more than 1 table. So if only 1 table is used here, then you can also change the data of the database table, but with more than 1 table you can only display it. So save, check for an error, so no errors you can see here. since I'm not using the MAKT, it is saying the view can become client independent. That's fine. I'll activate. And that's all. Click on this icon content here. You'll be able to see the table data. Let's execute. See, this is the table data. You can see, right? This is bringing the data from Mara table and also from MAKT table, from two tables, combining and bringing the data from two tables. Understood? This is what database view. Guys, are we clear on this? All of you?
Yes, sir. So, what would be the maximum number of fields we can
You can use n
enable
number of
for?
fields. No matter. You can use n number
No
of fields.
limit.
Yeah, no limit.
Okay.
So now let's say I want to only, here if you see the material type, there are different material types are coming, and if you see the language, even different languages are coming here. What if I want to see the description in English only English languages I want to bring? So in that case, what you can also do, you can go back to the selection condition. You can say table field MAKT, the language key is SPRAS, right? So that is the language key, and here I am only interested in English, right? That means equal to, the language should be equal to English. So check for an error and let's execute it again and see. So that is what selection condition. You can also filter the data that is being selected from the database, right? So you can see, click on this content icon again and execute it one more time. So now we will be only able to see the language with English. See? Understood? Let's say I only want to see the material where material type is FERT. So what you can also do, again you can go back to selection condition and say here and or. If you want to, if both conditions should satisfy, then use and. Only either one is satisfied, then you want to bring the data, then use or. In our case, we'll use and because the system should satisfy both. Let's say Mara, and here empty ART is the column, and again I want to only bring where material is FERT. So let's activate and execute again. That's how you can also use see, now only FERT will come. You can also use the selection condition to filter the data selection. So like I also told you, whenever we activate the database view, it will generate the native SQL and create another database view in the DB. So that means we should be able to see the database object, right? So let's go to utility, database object, and say display. You see, so this is the native SQL statement that system generated and sent to the database to create an database view. Understood? Any doubts on the database view?
Rajnish, why are we creating this view? Like, what is the business purpose of it?
It is mainly used to combine the data, right? If you, okay, so basically what we do, like we segregate the data into multiple tables. If you remember, we have which you're functional consultant, right, Venkatesh?
Yeah, Rajnish.
You are which model? PM.
No, plant maintenance.
Okay, let's consider you have order tables, right? AUFK,
Yeah.
AFVV, AFVC,
Yes.
right? So why they have
Correct.
divided into multiple tables? Why not all the data can be stored in one table?
Means each table is having its own purpose, like a type of data it is storing. Based on key fields, like we give logic to the ABAP saying that this is what is to be done.
Yeah. So what happens basically, SAP has segregated, or we have segregated and stored the data in different tables because we don't want to store the duplicate rows again and again, right? So let's say, for example, if you consider AFVV, so this is the table which stores the operation AUFPL and APLZL, right? And then let's consider AUFK, and if you see, so this is the table which stores order master data, right? If you go to input or help check, there will be so many other tables also. Okay, let's say AUFNR is the common field, and then tell me one more table, AFVC, right? AFVC.
Yeah, AFPO also. AFKO.
AFKO, yeah, AFKO. So let's say this is PP orders. Again, AUFK is the check table, right? That means whatever the data is there in AUFK, only those entries can be inserted to AFKO table, right? AFPO table. So again, if you see, this is like order item table, right? AFKO and is order header table like that, and AFPO is like order item table, right?
Yeah.
So now, can I store order header and order item table in one table? What happens if I store order header and item table in a single table? Okay, so let's say there are 104 columns in the order item table and around 177 columns in the order header table, right? So for each and for one order can have 10 items. Do you agree? 10 items or n number of items it can be, right? Let's consider one order as 10 items.
Yeah.
Do you want to repeat all these header details and store in a table for one item? For each and every item, do you want to repeat 177 columns and store it again and again?
Yeah, it would lead to like memory wastage.
Memory wastage, right? So what we do, basically we divide it into multiple tables. We store here only once, and then item details again in another table. If you consider MARA and MAKT, if you know, right, MARA and MAKT?
Yeah, I'm aware.
So why they have divided MARA and MAKT? Just because of MAKTX column, right? So why? Because they don't want it to repeat all 300 columns just because of one column.
Yeah, it would be having long text also.
Long text, right? So but
Yeah.
while displaying it to the user, or if business want to see this tables data, they want to see in this format, not in this format, right? So we are storing data in this format, but we want to bring that in this format. So how do we do that? We use views.
Okay.
Understood now?
Yeah.
Even
yeah,
order
yeah.
headers or order item, whatever it is. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
just taking
yeah.
MARA and MAKT because it is simple to understand. It's not corresponding to any functional model, right? So that's why.
Yeah. Clear.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is what the database weave. Understood, guys? It is used to join two or more tables using inner join and bring the data to the application layer. If you see, it's combining MARA and MAKT tables data and bringing it to application layer, right? This is one purpose of the weave. Display the data. Combining it and displaying the data is one purpose. There are other purpose also. We'll understand one by one. Understood about database weave?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So next is projection weave. So here no joins. Okay. So projection weave. Can be created on single table. Okay, single table using projection weave. Using projection weave, we can only display the columns which is required. So basically we can say it is basically used to, or else let's say the main purpose of projection weave is to, another statement, I'm just making simple statement, the main purpose of projection weave is to hide the fields, hide the unwanted unwanted fields. Okay, so let's say for example you have Mara table, and Mara table has around 300 columns, right? User will come to you asking that I want to display Mara table data, but I don't need all 300 columns. I only need few columns of the tables, maybe 10 or 15 columns, and I also should be able to edit the table data. Okay, so using projection view, we can also edit the table data, and or else we can also modify and create new entries to the table. Okay, whenever you do any modification to the projection view, indirectly you are modifying the table data. Okay, so it directly affects the table's data. So let's go back and see. Let's create SAP ABAP projection view material batch 20, and say select the projection view and go here. Let's say material master. Okay, so let's say basic table. I'll just enter Mara, and after that click on the table fields, and you can select. Let's say there are so many columns here, but user is not interested in all columns. He is only interested in very few columns. Let's say these are the columns that he is interested in, only few columns that he wants to see. Also remember guys, if you are not including the MAKT field here, if you are not including all the key fields of the table, then you will get an error. Okay, remember, so you will not be able to activate, you will do this mistake. So you also have to include MAKT, you see. Okay, this is something that issue with the system, so maybe I'll just use other system for this. Let me quickly create. There's an issue with the system. I'll just go with the projection view. Alright, just let me send this screenshot. Say copy. After that you can enter your description here, material master view, and in the basis table you can enter the table name. You can only enter one table, you cannot enter multiple tables. Like I said, there are so many columns in the Mara table, but user only interested in few columns of the table. So if you don't select the key fields, these are the key fields, if you don't select you will get error. I'll show you. Let's say user is only interested in these columns. Okay, save. I'll just save it as a local object and check for an error. You see views allows only read only, client dependency. That's fine, and let's activate it. Okay, it's not giving error actually. 1 minute. So let's say read only. If I select read and change, read only means it will only display. Read and change means you can also edit the table data. Okay, so now you see it, you will get an error. You can only display the data without all the key fields, but if you want to also provide an edit option to the user, that means user can create entry or change existing entry. In that case you should also select all key fields of the table. That means one more key field that we missed, I'll just add that key field here, that is MAKT. Okay, after adding that key field, you can go and select this option and also activate it. So this also allows you to edit the table data. So let me show you. You can click on the content button again here and just execute. So you see display, and why the edit option is not coming. So here you also have to select display or maintenance allowed. Okay, remember to select, otherwise you will not be able to edit it. So if it is maintenance is allowed, in that case you will be able to maintain the data of the table. See, now you can also edit the existing entry. You cannot delete, but you can edit the existing entry. Let's say I want to add FERT and maybe I, and just save. You can okay, you just go back and you see you can also modify the entry. So earlier this was not there, right? You can also create a new entry to the table by clicking on the create button here. Click on the create. You can also create new entry to the table. Understood? This is what projection view. It's not displaying all tables of Mara, sorry, all columns of Mara, but only few columns of Mara, and with that you can also edit the table entry. Understood?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Can you just show me again, sir, after maintenance, giving the option of maintenance?
Okay, so here you have to select read and change, and in the data browser or table maintenance view you have to select maintenance allowed. That's what your doubt, right?
Okay. Then next, sir. Next.
Then click on the content icon, execute. Then there are icons here. One is create, other one is edit. You can select the entry that you want to edit and enter the values. And save. Then you can go back and you'll be able to see that value here. If you want to create a new entry to the table, then click on the create button here. Understood?
Yes. Yeah, I got it.
So any doubts? Anybody?
Yes, Rajnish. So how user can see this data? So Rajnish, because they're not supposed to have the SC11 says T-code access, right?
Yeah. So
So
what you
how
can
user
also
can
do
be
is
seeing this
like
data?
you can create an transaction code for this view.
Okay, it seems similar to table only, right? Views also.
Correct. Similar to table, but not like table. They don't store the data.
Okay, only view purpose. Again, we cannot
Or
use these
edit.
views to,
Depends. Like let's say if you are creating database view, mainly you will be only able to view it. Most of the times the database views are created on multiple tables. You can only display the data. But projection view can be created on one table. You can also display and modify or create new entry to the table also, right? And it is also used for hiding the fields that we don't want to display, right?
yes,
But
yes.
when
And we cannot use this views to get the data, you
you
mean to
don't
say,
have to
right?
use, because it's not much useful. It's not like you cannot use, but it is not good to use this. The
Okay.
purpose of
But
this view
what is
is
the difference? What is the difference between the database view and projection view? I could not see any variance. The way you have
so
created the views, right, for
database
the
view is
code.
using inner join, and that means you can use multiple tables to join the table, right?
Okay,
But
multiple
projection
table
view
you can
can
use,
only
but
be
no join, only one table.
only one table, and here projection view can
Okay,
also
okay,
help you to edit the table data.
okay. Got it.
Clear?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah,
So the next one is
I am clear now.
yeah, okay. The next one is maintenance view. So maintenance views are mainly used to maintain the table data, okay, or maintain the table data. It's mainly used for maintaining the table data. If you want to maintain the table data, you can create maintenance view. Here TMG is mandatory And one more thing that I wanted to say, for any view we can also create transaction code. Do you remember we created TMG for we created T code for TMG? The same way you can create transaction code for this views also. Okay, TMG is mandatory. I'll show you now. TMG is mandatory for uh, maintenance view. Without TMG you cannot use, display or maintain the data of the table. Okay, this is mainly used for maintaining the table data. Let's say you want to delete the table data or insert a new entry to the table or create a new entry to the table or edit an entry of a table. That's when the maintenance views are used. Okay, this uses left out a join again. So let's create maintenance view in the system. So guys, basically these views are like obsolete now. We have new concept of CDS views or CDS entity in S4 system, but still sometimes it is important if anybody is used this views, right? So let's say maintenance MV. I'll just use MNV, maintenance view, something like this, or MV. Yeah, that should be fine. So let's go and create and select the third radio button, maintenance view. Here you can say short description, so material master view, and here you can enter the table name, let's say Mara, and select the table. And you cannot enter multiple tables here, it's not possible, only one table, the table which has a relationship. You see, the table selection and join definition only possible with a relationship. That means if there is a foreign key relationship with Mara, only those tables will appear. Let's select this and say relationship. After that it will open another pop-up screen where it shows all the foreign key related table with Mara, and now we can see so many tables. So I'll just look for MAKT table, our favorite table, right? MAKT. I select this and you see this is a common column between them. Say copy, so the joins will be created, and then here you can go and you know what to do. The key fields are automatically coming here. You can also select the fields from the table Mara and also from the table MAKT, right? So the same thing like you do. And in the selection condition, you know, if you want to restrict some table data, in that case you can also provide the condition. Let's say for example you want only English or something like that, you can do that. And in the maintenance status you have so many options. Read only, that means display. Read or change or delete and insert, right? That means you can do all the operations on the table. Only read and change means edit. Okay, create and edit. So this is something time specific. If you have date or time column of a table as a key field, in that case this can be used. Okay, just select this one which provides all the options, and it's a master table and maintenance allowed. So now let's activate. You see there is a content icon. If I click on this, it will not display, it won't work, right? So for maintenance view, TMG is mandatory. Let's create TMG utility, table maintenance generator, and I'll just provide this function group. I'll just provide it as the view name, and one step or two step, I'll just go with one step. Find screen number. You know, these options we have covered in the TMG session. I don't want to transport, or you want to transport, you can also do that. Okay, if you want to transport, let's say no transport, say create. It's creating the TMG. So now it's created. Just go back and click on this content button. Now you see, after creating TMG you should be able to display the table data. See, now it's coming and you have so many options. Click on the editor icon here. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Let's say you want to delete this table entry, you want to modify this table entry, you want to add an additional value, or you want to modify the value of particular column, or you want to create new entries, multiple entries, you can also do that. Okay, so this is what maintenance view. Understood? How many of you are functional
Yes.
consultants here? Srinivas, I know he's functional. Venkatesh also. Any other functional consultants?
Yes, sir. Material master.
Okay, Ashita. Okay, so guys, you are very well aware about SPRO, all of you. You will be using it for configuration, right? Maybe material master is
Yes.
common for most of you. Let me just take material management configuration. So, or else let's take uh, material configuration. So, material master, and maybe let's say the basic setting. I just wanted to tell you that SAP is using the maintenance view very widely. In SPRO, most of the screens that you see are maintenance views. Let's say define output format for the material. Just take any option, maybe not this one. Whatever the screens you see like this is actually a maintenance view. I press F1 and you click on the technical setting here, and you see this is a view. V underscore means it's a view, right? I double click on this. See here, it's a maintenance view created on top of this table. So let's take some other maybe related to some material types. Define attributes of a material type. I click on this. Now you see again I just press F1 here. This is actually table, direct table. Okay, that's fine. Let's take this one. Let's press F1 here. This is a maintenance view again. You see widely SAP using maintenance view in SPRO. V underscore 134K. Double click on this. It's a maintenance view created on top of these three tables. So one of you is from the plant maintenance PM. Okay, let's take something related to order, maybe the basic settings, or let's take this one, and in the general data maybe I'll just go and say user status for the orders. Define the status profile. Just select this, and if I press F1 again here, you see it is again a maintenance view. Understood where it is used widely? This is the tables behind the view. And one of you from FICO, right? Finance and controlling.
But Rajneesh, like from this maintenance view, you are also able to append any data to the standard tables.
Yes, you can do. Yes, now you can see, right? We created this views on the standard table only, right?
But to create any material, right, there is MDG process. So there are a number of controls which are there.
You can also create using maintenance view. It's not like you cannot create it. You can insert the data to the table, but mostly these are used in configuration kind. In SPRO they are calling all these views.
Okay, Rajneesh. Yeah.
So
And have you also covered about the different type of tables already, like related to
yes,
view
yes,
structure,
yeah, it's covered already. Just I think you have to check the recording.
transparent table, so all that is covered, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So let's go back. Even if you see in FICO, you will be able to see the maintenance view. Okay, just check. And that's where the maintenance views are used widely. And the last one is help view. Okay, so this is, I'll tell you when we'll see how to create it, but I'll tell you where it will be used when we discuss search help. Okay, so used in search help used in search help in the selection field. There is a selection field in the search help. It is used there as a data provider, okay. So using help view, you cannot display or modify. Okay, it is like created exactly like the maintenance view, but it won't display or modify any table data. It is just used as a selection method in the search app. Let's see how to create it. I'll just say HLP help view and say create, and help view say copy, exactly like you created the maintenance view. You can create the help view, the same steps, but you cannot see, there is no content icon here, cannot even display. Okay, it is just used in the selection method. We will see that in our upcoming sessions. When we discuss search help, I'll tell you where it will be used. I say copy, and you see the joins are coming automatically, and you can select the fields that you want to. I just need a few columns from here, and also one column from MAKT. You can select like this, right? Or maybe two columns from MAKT. And now if you go, you can provide selection condition, you know what it is. Now here you see, you can only read only. If you select read and change, you will get error. You cannot change the table data. It's not possible. See, you can only display the data. That is only in the search help, not even here. You can only use it in a search help, not even here. This is how we also create the help view. Any doubts, anybody till now? We done with the views. Any of you, any doubts so far? Are we clear?
Yeah, so these all the views can be seen in the SE16 and table level, right?
Yeah,
SE16 or
yes.
A16N.
Not the help view, but
Okay. Okay. And yeah, you already mentioned that we can find out if it is the table how the V starting value is
see,
the V, then we can
SE16.
consider those are all the
One minute.
maintenance
One
table.
minute. So this is where you can see in SE16, right? It will take you to SM30 again when you provide it here. And if it is a database view, okay, I think it is not there here. We created it in another system. Yeah, please go ahead. You can see that in SE16.
Yeah, that's what. How can we identify these are all related to database views? Maintenance anyhow we got it. We can seeing the table name, we can
If you go
identify
to
these are
the,
related to
if you
maintenance. So
copy
how
the
can
view name, and then if you provide the view name here, and if you display it, here it will show you whether it is
okay
help
here
view,
only can
maintenance view, or database view.
okay we cannot identify using this table views. I mean using the XC16 or XC16M.
Using SC16, and you're asking, right? So let me do one thing.
Yeah.
I'll just take the projection view and go to SC16. Sorry. It only says that generate a table for view. It says it's a view. not which view, no type.
Yeah. Okay. Then we need to check in the SS 11
S11,
only
yes.
then to identify. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay. So guys, how many
Okay.
of you are
Thank
doing
you.
assignments? Okay, this is the assignment. You have to create different types of views on these tables, and the interview questions on this topic. What are views and its types? What is difference between the views? Maybe they will ask difference between database and maintenance view, and also just remember all of them. And what is the use of projection? Okay, these are the interview questions that you will get. Okay, so that's all guys for today. Tomorrow we will not have the class because Thursday I have to go to